Hello and welcome. You're watching Race to Power with me, Ananya Datta. Before we start this broadcast, we have some breaking news coming in from Slovakia, where Prime Minister Robert Fico was shot and injured after a government meeting. According to the latest reports, the Slovakia government is saying that the Prime Minister's condition is quote-unquote life-threatening. According to reports, 4 shots were fired, with one hitting the Prime Minister in the abdomen. The injured Prime Minister is being treated at a hospital as we speak. An eyewitness heard several shots fired after the meeting in northeast of the capital of Bratislava. Now, these are the images we are getting from the venue where Fico gave a press conference just moments before he was shot at. Fico was in the city as part of a tour of the country's regions after coming to power just late last year. He was seen as a very popular leader in the country. Fico returned as Prime Minister of the Central European country, which is a member of the European Union and the NATO, for the 4th time last year after shifting political gears to appeal to a changing electorate. The European Union has condemned the attack immediately. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has expressed deep shock over what he says, and I'm quoting, "a heinous attack against my friend." Now, for more on this, I'm being joined by Ben Aris from Berlin. Mr. Aris is the editor-in-chief of BNE Intel News. Mr. Aris, thank you so much for joining us here in this broadcast. We are just getting the news of the Prime Minister being shot at. What is the latest you can tell us?
Well, it's an emerging story. The details are not clear. There's various reports. So at least four shots were fired. I just talked to our correspondent in Slovakia, and he was saying that there's some reports that he got hit in the neck and head, other reports that he was in the abdomen. However, it appears that he arrived at hospital still conscious. He was airlifted to a local hospital and is still alive, although his condition is very serious. He's being operated on now, and we're waiting for fresh developments. However, my first impression is that he was hit, he was badly wounded, but not so bad that it killed him straight away. But as I say, he's now in hospital with the doctors who are giving him emergency surgery to try and rescue him from this situation.
Right. Mr. Aris, the Prime Minister of Slovakia was just elected late last year. He was a popular leader. He is a popular leader in the country. What can you tell us? I understand it's very difficult to speculate at this moment, but what could be the motive behind a case like this?
Well, of course, it's too early to say. However, there are two possibilities here in play. That Fico, since he came to power, he's a left-wing populist, as he said. However, he's taken Slovakia into a direction towards Russia. He's aligned himself with Orban in Hungary, and the two of them are much more sort of pro-Moscow. They want to see the war in Ukraine end. They want to go back to doing energy deals with Russia, which supports their economies. However, the people are very much dedicated to being in the EU, and the country has been really divided over this issue. I mean, Fico's supporters are happy to see this move towards Russia because it's good for the economy, but then the other half of the population are happy to remain in the EU and want to follow the EU policy supporting Ukraine, which he's backed off. So it could be someone who's taken a radical view on that. The other problem Fico has is he has links to corruption. There's been an investigation into his links to, well, his party's links to Italian mafia. There's been suggestion that goes right to the top. And if you remember a few years ago, there was a journalist, Jan Kuciak, who was shot and murdered, which caused mass demonstrations. And that brought Fico's government down because he was linked to the criminals who perpetrated that murder. And it may be one of these shady background connections, business corruption that he has come back to bite him. But like I say, I mean, it's far too early to say anything concrete, but certainly these are question marks that stand over him.
Mr. Harris, do you think this could have a bearing on the EU elections that's slated very recently?
It's hard to say. As I say, Slovakia is very divided between those that want to follow the European path and support Brussels in its stance in supporting Ukraine, and those who are tending towards right-wing popularism, which we're expecting to see a big change in the European Parliament with it lurching towards the right and the Greens going out, and Fico is definitely part of that trend. So I would have guessed that, if anything, this will support the right-wing cause. They'll point to it, say things are out of control, that we need crackdown, we need tougher laws, we need better policing, we need a stronger state in order to protect ourselves. So I would have said, all in all, this is probably negative for the European elections, in so much as we're looking at a nasty lurch to the right, a rise in more xenophobia, a more right-wing politics. These are the policies Fico and Orban have been pursuing.
All right, Mr. Harris, thank you so much for getting us all those insights and decoding this for us.
Pleasure.
All right, for those of you who are just joining in, we are just getting reports that the Slovakia Prime Minister has been shot at after a government meeting. The government has confirmed that the shooting is being seen as an assassination attempt, and he is currently in a life-threatening condition. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.